What the Business YouTube, episode 36. My name's Jay Florida, and today's career of discussion is a NASCAR driver. So what is a NASCAR driver? A NASCAR driver is a professional athlete who operates high-performance stock cars in National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing sanctioned events, often exceeding speeds of 200 miles per hour. They are skilled professionals who compete on ovals and road courses, needing deep knowledge of vehicle mechanics, intense physical endurance, and quick reflexes. Now to give you a piece of history, while conceived in late 1947, the first official race was held on February 15, 1948, on the Daytona Beach Road Course, and NASCAR was officially incorporated on February 21st of that same year. A few basic requirements to becoming a NASCAR driver include racing on local dirt or asphalt tracks to build a winning record and experience in competitive full-bodied stock car racing, securing endorsements to pay for maintenance, travel, and racing fees, competing in series like the ARCA, connecting with experienced team owners and crew chiefs at local tracks, and applying for a NASCAR license through NASCAR headquarters or a local track. Now, gaining sufficient experience can take you anywhere from 10 to 15 years and cost you anywhere from $20,000 to $100,000 or more. As far as your range, as an entry-level NASCAR driver, you can expect to make $70,000 to $90,000, with a few things affecting how much you take home being contracts, performance, sponsorships and popularity, and point standings. A day in life as a NASCAR driver can be described as media obligations, travel, analyzing performance data, sponsorship appearances, and extreme practice racing. As far as opportunity, in my diligent research, there was a strong emphasis on NASCAR drivers beginning their practice at the tender age of around 5 to 10 years old. So if you're any much older than that, the chances of you succeeding in this field do diminish quite a bit. And for that reason, the NASCAR driver scores green for opportunity. A few examples to take note of in this field include Denny Hamlin, a 3-time Daytona 500 winner, and drives the number 11 Toyota Camry XSE for Joe Gibbs Racing. He also co-owns and operates 2311 Racing. Next we have Richard Petty, a former stock car racer who competed from 1958 to 1992 in the former NASCAR Grand National and Winston Cup Series, most notably driving the number 43 Plymouth Pontiac for Petty Enterprises. And last but not least, we have Dale Earnhardt, a stock car driver and racing team owner who raced from 1975 to 2011 in the former NASCAR Winston Cup Series, most notably driving the number 3 Chevrolet for Richard Childress Racing. Moving on to our fact moment segment of this episode, starting off with fact number 1. Strip Weathers of Cars is a direct homage to the car driven by NASCAR Hall of Famer Richard Petty, based on a 1970 Plymouth Superbird, who he also voices the character in the film. Fact number 2. The fastest lap in NASCAR history is 212.89 miles, set by Bill Elliott during qualifying for the 1987 Winston 500 at Talladega Superspeedway. This record-setting lap was achieved in a Ford Thunderbird on the 2.66-mile oval. And fact number 3. As of May 2026, the record for the fastest 4-tire pit stop in NASCAR history is 8.02 seconds, set by Denny Hamlin's number 11 Joe Gibbs Racing crew during the 2025 Coca-Cola 600 at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Now for our last segment, before we move on to the circle of influence, we have health risks and mitigation. Starting off with heat stress and dehydration due to rising cabin temperatures causing cardiovascular strain and severe fluid loss, often exceeding 5 pounds of sweat loss during a race. Musculoskeletal issues as a result of high exposure to vibrations and G-forces. Brain injuries and neurological damage due to repeated impacts and high-speed crashes. Long-term exposure to intense engine noise, resulting in long-term hearing loss, and exposure to burning rubber, exhaust, and gasoline fumes, resulting in respiratory issues. As far as mitigation, you can refer to team-employed chiropractors and physical therapists to preserve natural body mobility. 12 to 15 week summer blocks, executing cardio sessions in temperatures excess of 90 degrees Fahrenheit to adapt their cardiovascular systems to extreme core heat. Long distance road cycling and running to keep heart rates elevated for hours. Consuming electrolyte dense liquids, especially in large amounts before racing and post racing, replenishing fluids, eating clean carbohydrates, and engaging in low impact active recovery like swimming. That does it for our primary segment. I'm gonna go ahead, give the floor to my co-host, let him take over for the Circle of Influence. What the business, YouTube? Starting off the Circle of Influence, we have respect. Is this a career or position that brings me respect and dignity? Now, being a NASCAR driver is a physically demanding, high skill level profession requiring intense focus and is a good source of entertainment for people who like things that go vroom. For that reason, the NASCAR driver does score green. Moving on, we have growth. Is this a career or position that presents me with the opportunity to grow from a $100,000 earning threshold? For this segment, the NASCAR driver does score green, with sources online citing that the NASCAR driver has the potential to make as much as $500,000, going well into the millions in a single year. Next, we have gore. Is this a career or position that will have me dealing with an abundance of blood, violent action, grotesque imagery, or scenery? For this segment, the NASCAR driver does score green, as in no, you will not be dealing with any of the mentioned before. And for our last ideological standpoint, we have moral conflict. Is this a career or position that will have me compromise any of my foreseeable morals? Don't lie, don't cheat, don't steal, don't kill, the basic set of guidelines. And for this segment, the NASCAR driver does score green. Moving on to the statistical side of things, we have gender and demographics, where men make up 90% of the industry and women make up 10% of the entire industry. Next, we have ethnic demographics, where we were actually unable to find any information, but to keep things as informative and accurate as possible, it's safe to assume that this is a career led by Caucasians. Last, we have location demographics, and actually there will not be any states in particular that pay you more than another, since as a NASCAR driver you'll be traveling from speedway to speedway. So instead, we have top paying race teams, starting off with Hendrick Motorsport and Team Penske, followed by Joe Gibbs Racing and Trackhouse Racing, and closing things out with 2311 Racing. Now that does it for the Circle of Influence. I'm going to go ahead, give the floor back to Florida. I'm back. Just to summarize the NASCAR driver, we all in some way, shape, or form know it, seen it, love it. My personal introduction to NASCAR was the Disney car franchise. It's not a career that is as easy as it seems, especially on the outside looking in, but when is it ever? But this is definitely a career that you can capitalize on and at least set the foundation for generational wealth for your family. However, if you're 23 and you're watching this, it's over with. Just go ahead and have a baby, put them in a go-kart. If you're 13 and you're watching this, you might still have a chance. You just got to put in some real work. And as far as investing, you really have to spend money to make money in this career, you know. No financial aid, no nothing. It's all out of pocket. That's why you got to find yourself a sponsor. That way you could keep up and shine. With that being said, it does look like we have a full episode today. The word of the day is fear. Self-help resources on the board. As always, I'll leave it down in the description. And to show your support, if you want to see this kind of content more often, make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys on episode 37.